comparing region 1 to region 5 to see if there's a significant difference in enrollment. So to do that, the first thing I want to do is only select region 1 and region 5's data. So I need to go to data, and I'm going to go to select cases. And here, everything's selected. I don't want everything. I just want region 1 and 5. So I'm going to go to this if condition is satisfied. I'm going to pull over region. So if it is region 1, or I want to look at both of these, so I'm putting an or region 5. This is what I'm looking at. And to confirm that we did it correctly, I'll hit OK. Let's check our data here. So we have region 1. Region 2 is not selected. They're all crossed out. Same for region 3 and 4. But region 5 is still good, along with region 1. Okay, now that I have that, I want to check my pre-check list assumptions to see if our data meets those assumptions. So the first thing I want to look at is my N value as well as my normality. So I'm going to start by going up to Analyze and go to Descriptive Statistics, and I want to explore this data. I'm comparing enrollment to region. So enrollment's my dependent, region's my factor. And there's a few plots I want to look at. I don't want a box plot, and I don't want a stem and leaf plot, so I'm going to unselect those, but I do want a histogram, and I do want to look at my normality plots. I don't want to see the statistics for this, I just want to see the plots, so I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click OK. And while that pulls up, let's make it bigger so we can look at all of it. So the first thing I want to look at is my N value. So for region 1, I have an N value of 72. That's good. We're looking for a value above 30. My region 5, though, has a value of 23, so it already doesn't meet assumption 1. I'm going to keep going through the list, though, just for the sake of this assignment and practice. So I'll keep going. Region 1, I want to look over here at the Shapiro-Wilks value, the significance value, and what I want here to know if we've reached, if we have normality, is a significance above 0.05. Well, region 1 is less than 0.001, so that does not have normality. We can confirm that by looking at the histogram. It's got this little dip. It does not match a bell curve shape that we'd be looking for. And if I look at this QQ plot, these plots do not align up with my line. So it does not match normality. But if I check region 5 down here, again the Shapiro-Wilk, I have 0.088. Well, that value is greater than 0.5. We can confirm this. My histogram is more on that curve. We could manipulate it a little bit to make it look more the curve shape. We're not going to do that now, but we will look at QQ, and these plots will line up with that line. So this one does match normality. The other thing I want to check, the third thing on my pre-check list, is the homogeny. So to run that, there's a few different ways we can do that. I'm going to do it using the ANOVA test. So I'm going to go to Analyze, and then I'm going to go to Compare Means and Proportions, and I want a one-way ANOVA. Again, enrollment's my dependent, and region's my factor here. And I'm going to go to Options because I want to look specifically at the homogeny of variance test. And I'm also going to be able to look at my significance while I'm here. So I want to look specifically at the based on mean here, my significance. And here I see that it's 0.011. To assume homogeny of variance, I need it to be greater than 0.05. So this is another assumption that this data set does not meet. That being said, we're still going to run our test and look at our significance just for sake of practice. So here I'm going to go down to my ANOVA test and look at my significance, and it is 0.107. It is 107. So what I'm looking for to know if there's a significant difference is our value to be below 0.005. This is not less than that, so it is not showing a significant difference. I'm going to confirm by analyzing using my t-test. So again, analyze, compare means and proportions, and I want the independent samples t-test. Again, enrollment's my test variable, and I'm looking at region. Now see how this has question marks? I have to define these groups. So I'm going to click on that. Group 1 is 1 because we're looking at region 1, but my group 2 is 5 because I'm looking at region 5. So I'm going to click continue there and click OK to run this. So again, here I can look at my, let's make this bigger, my independent samples test, and I can look at my two-sided p here is 0.107. Again, that is not less than 0.005. The other thing I want to do is I want to look at my Conan's d-test. Now, SPSS doesn't give us just a button we can click to do that, so we have to go through a couple of hoops here. And the first thing I'm going to do that is go to Analyze. And I'm going to go down to Descriptive Statistics. There, sorry. And go down to Descriptives. Again, I'm pulling over enrollment. This is the variable I'm looking at, and I want to save the standardized values as variables. Click OK there, and what I'm looking for in my variable view is I have this new thing here. I have my Z enrollment. That's what I want. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to analyze that data now. Back to analyze. Down to compare means, I'm running another t-test. I don't want this enrollment anymore because I want to look at this one, the z-score. Pull that over. Let's make sure our groups are still 1 and 5. Perfect. I'm going to click OK. Here I'm looking specifically at my mean difference. So I have 0.386, and that is my result for my Conan's d-test there. So if I were reporting these values in APA format, I would say that my t-value is 1.626 with a df of 93. I'd say my p-value is 0.107, and because p is not less than 0.005, there is not a significant difference, so I accept the null that there's no difference. And my d-value is 0.386. This is in that small to medium effect range because it's greater than 0.2 and it's less than 0.5, so that means the difference is not practically important. Again, we assume the assumptions were true here. If your assumptions were not true for your data, you wouldn't plow forward like this. But for the sake of the assignment, just remember that we did that. So thank you so much for listening as we compared Region 1 and Region 5's enrollment data.